Hi, my name is Rodolfo Masis, and I'll be talking about how video games have encouraged players to be violent in real life. As most of you probably played a video game before, you can tell how some of the violent games some of them can be. This has become a worldwide issue because a gun and killing violence in video games have correlated into real life situations. This is shown to be a problem for children and unstable individuals. Video games have been around for a very long time. Over the past decade, the video game industry has become huge. Video games have become a lot more violent each year, and it's not good for young kids. In 1994, the video game industry established the Educational Software Rating Board, which stands for ESRB, as a volunteer system where video games could be rated according to violence and other inappropriate material. As most of you played a video game before in your life, you can tell some of the games that these kids are playing may not be the most healthiest thing for them, and also adolescents. It can end up being harmful for some. I've been playing video games my whole life, and I've played almost every single type of video game. And now looking back in time, playing those violent video games weren't the best for me. At a young age, your brain is still developing, and playing these violent games is not the best way to learn and develop your brain. First, I'd like to talk about how playing video games for a long period of time at a young age will be difficult for some children and adolescents to have social interactions. Have video games made it harder for children and adolescents to interact socially? In present research, Alessandro Gabardini states that social exclusion could increase adolescents' willingness to play violent video games could have incremental effect on causal link between social exclusion and aggression. So this quote explains that children are able to get their hands on video games can cause a great effect on social interactions. This further explains that it would cause an uptrend on aggression for some adolescents. The negative effects of gaming for many hours. Doing too much of anything isn't always great for your mental health. It doesn't always go for gaming, but many other hobbies. Tanya J. Peterson states that some of the effects of hours of gaming may include poor schoolwork, also work performance, relationship difficulties, social isolation, sleep, hopelessness, and depression, and many other things. All these effects are happening to many children and adolescents. Now that you're informed about the social interaction and the negative effects of gaming for many hours, I'd like to talk about how playing too many hours of video games can cause aggression and violence. Has there been an increase of bullying for young kids? Well, the Journal of the American Medical Association states that several peer-reviewed studies have shown that children who play M-rated games are more likely to bully and cyberbully their peers. Children that play M-rated games, which the M stands for mature, have a higher chance of being a bully towards other children, and also individuals in online gaming. Moreover, preventing children playing M-rated games will help decrease the amount of bullying and cyberbullying. Violent video games increase aggression behavior. Jordan Manbasher states that for the study of 3,000 teens between the ages of 8 and 17 had their video games playing habits recorded for 3 years. Those who played a large amount of video games had more difficult attention to detail, ability to concentrate, and increased impulsive behaviors. This quote states that the children and young adults will have difficult time on attention to detail situations in real life scenarios. So to prevent that, you must limit your amount of gaming, and it will help diffuse these effects for children. Now that you're informed about the violence in children and social environments, I would like to talk about who should be allowed to play video games. Children that play N-rated video games might be playing too much of it. For example, some of the games may include like Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, and many other games. These games include a lot of violence, blood, and inappropriate things, and it's up to the parents to understand what their kids are playing. So I believe violent video games must be kept away from children and until they're at the appropriate age. So let's talk about the Educational Software Rating Board, the ESRB. So Romeo Vistelli states that in 1994, the video industry established the Entertainment Software Rating System, which stands for ESRB, and where video games can be rated from different letters, and it depends on the violence and inappropriate material that the game includes. So this is to help prevent parents to understand how what games their children are playing. So the games are based off of how violent it is and how inappropriate it is, and it's different letters for every single type of game. Uh, in this speech, I informed you on how children playing violent video games may have a correlation with aggression, bullying, and less social interactions. If you need more information on about how video games might be making children more violent, there are a lot of documentaries that help explain how children should not be playing M-rated games. As most of you played video games, or some being violent or non-violent, you could probably tell that playing games for a long period of time will not be healthy for you. Uh, Not only is it not healthy for the older individuals, it is extremely not healthy for the children and adolescents. With that being said, having a limited amount of time of gaming for children might be the best thing for them. Thank you.